Hi everyone, Heather here with Astrology with Heather.com, and I am back with another weekly forecast. This one is from Monday, August 29th, all the way through to Sunday, August 4th of 2019. And this is a big week in the astrology again. This is a really beautiful week ahead. We have plenty of powerful opportunities for a fresh start, for new beginnings across many areas of life. And these new beginnings might be a little bit disruptive. This is a really important time frame where we can shake ourselves out of our comfort zones, where we can let go of any stuck, stagnant energy that we've been carrying, and we can move forward into something completely new and maybe something different than what we had anticipated, but better and more liberating than we would have expected otherwise. And so this is because we have a powerful new moon in the passionate sign of Leo, which is really clearing away a lot of that energy that we were experiencing during the eclipse season. This is the first moon after the eclipse season, which is always sort of like a breath of fresh air. It's like, whew, okay, I got through it. A lot of changes went on, but now I know what direction I need to take moving forward. I have all of these new opportunities, or all of these sort of unfinished business or energies that have come up throughout the eclipse season, and now I know what intentions to seed, where to place my focus, and how to move into that new direction in life. And so this is a powerful, powerful new moon. I love the first new moon after eclipse season. It really is like a breath of fresh air. And especially with this one, because it will be in square with Uranus. And so Uranus is the planet that rules change. It rules disruption. It's the great awakener and the great liberator. And so this square from Uranus that'll be hitting the sun and Venus later on in the week, as part of this new moon, is really going to awaken us to areas in life where we have just settled for less than what we can really accomplish, or less than what we deserve, or less than what we truly want in life. It's going to show us where we've been stagnant or stuck, or kind of in this really boring routine, or feeling caged up or oppressed in some sort of way. And so it's going to awaken us to our true potential, and potentially you can get some sort of divine insight, inspiration from an outside source that can really help you to shake things up and to make changes that you've been needing to make for quite some time. On the opposite end, some changes might just show up, because that's Uranus. With Uranus, because it is the great awakener, the great liberator, if we don't take hold of this energy and use it more intentionally, this is an energy where that rebelliousness, where that suppressed rebellion, that suppressed urge to make changes in our lives will come out anyway. And it'll usually come about in ways that we wouldn't have anticipated. And that might be a little bit more disruptive to our lives. And so this is a great opportunity this week to harness the energy of Uranus. And if you're interested in learning more about how to do that, because Uranus will be transiting Taurus for another 7 years still. And so we're just at the very beginning stages of Uranus and Taurus. We're just starting to see what Uranus will be doing in all of our lives as it transits the sign of Taurus. If you want to go deeper into that, I'm doing a webinar on August 17th. It's going to be at noon Mountain Daylight Time, and it's going to be all about Uranus. We're going to talk about the cycles of Uranus placements in the chart, and also how to work with the energy of Uranus. Even though Uranus can bring surprises and unanticipated results, there is an opportunity that is available with this energy that some people don't even realize or recognize, because they're resistant to making the changes that they need to make to harness this energy. And so we're going to talk really in depth about that, and how to work with the energy so it doesn't come and hit you like a ton of bricks and shake up everything and cause a lot of chaos. And the chaos that it does cause might be experienced more positively in areas where we need a bit of change and excitement in our lives. And so the link to sign up for that webinar is down in the description below. And since I'm already on the topic of this, this is a part of my Mastering the Outer Planets series, which is going to be a series. Well, we already started with Saturn, so you'll get that Saturn webinar right away. It's a series of 5 webinars total. The last one with Mastering Jupiter is free, and these are all going to be 3 to 4 hours long. So you'll get with those first 4 webinars, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, you're going to be getting 12 to 16 hours of information over the course of a few months about all of these outer planets and how they work in the chart and in the astrology. And you don't need to be an astrologer. You don't have to have an astrology background to benefit from this information, because we'll start from the ground up and make sure that you can really comprehend the material and how to utilize it in your own life. And so that is available down in the description below for only $69 right now for 12 hours. 16 hours, and then a bonus 3 to 4 hours of material. And that price is going to increase after my next webinar about mastering Uranus. So I do want to just mention that again for you guys, for those who really want to learn how to work with the energies that we talk about each week. I mean, we go through week to week, but this will help you to prepare in advance, because these are long-term transits that take a lot of time and that usually last at least a year. Some of these last several years. And so you have a lot of opportunity to work with the energy. And so anyway, going back to what we were talking about this week, I did my announcements a little early, I guess. Just because we're talking about Uranus, and Uranus is an energy that sometimes people are afraid of, especially people with a lot of fixed energy. And that's who's being impacted by this right now, because fixed signs, which are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, the fixed signs tend to hold on to things. They all hold on to slightly different things, which is something we'll talk about in that webinar that I just mentioned about mastering Uranus, but they tend to hold on to certain things, and Uranus tends to cause you to have to let go of a lot and change things and disrupt your current paradigm. And we're going to be feeling a lot of that this week. A lot of shifting, a lot of changing, a lot of, if you've had this unsettled energy throughout the eclipse season, like you need to take back control of your life. You need more freedom. You need to liberate yourself after all that oppressive Saturn, Pluto, South Node energy that was highlighted by the eclipses. This is the opportunity. This is the big moment where it's like, okay, I know what I need to do. I'm gonna do it. On the opposite end, because Uranus is very, it's sort of an impulsive energy. Because of that, we might be acting more on impulse. And so if it's something that you haven't thought about doing in the past, especially because Mercury is stationing on this same day, which is something we need to talk about too, if it's something you've never thought about and you're just kind of jumping into it in the moment, it's like, okay, there's this thing, I need to do it right now. Take a step back, take a few breaths, sit with it, even if it's just for an hour or two before you make a decision and you jump in, because you might just be really excited about something new without really taking into account how this will impact your life. And you might make a decision that's a little too impulsive, not well thought out, and that could cause disruption in a negative way. Although the ultimate result of this will be liberation from something, but it might not come in the way that you would want it to if you jump in too quickly. So just, make note of that and start thinking now before the new moon on Wednesday. What do you want to change? Where do you feel a lot of frustration and stagnancy in your life? And what do you want to break out of and break free from? Where do you want more independence in your life? That's really what the question is that we're going to be answering this week, or that might be answered for us, because it might become so frustrating that we have to make a change. Beyond that, we also have Mercury stationing direct at the same day as the new moon in Leo. And Mercury will be stationing direct at 24 degrees, 23 degrees in the sign of Cancer. And this is a potent energy. When Mercury stations retrograde or direct, it's always a weird day, at least for me. And I've heard other people, mention this as well, where it's kind of like time stands still. And it can be a little bit more retrograde-y. It's a really great time to take a pause and to contemplate what your plans are moving forward based on all the reevaluation, reassessment, reorganizing, revisiting that you've done during that Mercury retrograde period. This is not, because it's a new moon and because Mercury is stationing direct, it's not the time to just jump into things on that day. And as I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're thinking things through before you start making changes. But this is a time where you can really get clear on what you need to do moving forward. So this is a time of getting clarity, and this is a time where you can maybe harness some of that Uranus energy to liberate yourself. So hopefully that's helpful to you. And so I'm going to get into the forecast for all 12 signs. And before I do have one more quick announcement. And so for those of you who are born with the sun in Virgo, this is the last weekend to get your Virgo solar return forecast at 25% off. It's only $9.99 right now. It'll be available and sent out to everyone on August 1st, and the price will go up to $12.99 after that time. So if you want to get a really in-depth rundown of the year ahead, and for Virgos, it's looking really nice, which I'm excited about because I'm a Virgo. Lots of trines, lots of good opportunities. And so I'm going to talk about what those opportunities look like and who's going to be impacted by the energy the most based on your birthday. You don't need a birth time for this. And so the link to purchase that forecast, which is a 2-hour video plus supplemental materials, is down in the description below. And if you are an Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, or Leo, your solar return forecast is already available and you can get it right now. And so that's down in the description below as well. All right, and so I feel like I have talked about everything I need to talk about in terms of announcements. So let's just jump into this with Aries and Aries rising. And so for Aries and Aries rising, this is not going to be as turbulent of an energy in terms of the new moon. It's going to be, it brings opportunities for a really positive reset in a couple of different areas in life. And so with the new moon happening in your 5th house, it's a time to break free from anything that is preventing you from connecting with your passions, for connecting with what you love to do because you love to do it. There could be a disruptive energy where you need to change something about your finances or the way that you budget your resources, or there might be some energy involving a major purchase that you need to make in order to alleviate some burden or to free up some energy so you can spend more time finding joy, because that's really what the 5th house is about. It's the house of joy. It's the house of creative self-expression. And so you have this wonderful opportunity to set intentions, to shake yourself out of anything that's preventing you from enjoying life, from engaging in your hobbies, your interests, the creative projects that you love to do. Also, anything that's preventing you from connecting through play or connecting with your children, right? Because that's the 5th house energy as well. You can really alleviate that burden and shake up some stagnant energy there, so that way you can move forward and do the things that you love to do because you love to do them. And this could even be an energy where you need to change the way that you're creating your resources in order to engage in your passions through self-employment or a business, because the 5th house is the house of entrepreneurs. And so if that's an energy that's been coming up for you, now's a time to really start to get the ball rolling, seed those intentions, get those plans in motion. Mercury will be stationing direct in your 4th house, which is the house of home and family. And so you might have an important message or an important insight that comes in at the middle of this week regarding any issues, plans, contracts, agreements, conversations, communications that have been up for you, that have been coming up for you throughout the Mercury retrograde. This is a time where you can get clarity and finally start to move forward. All right, and then for Taurus and for Taurus rising, this energy is going to be impacting you pretty intensely. So Taurus and Leo will be experiencing this in the most intense way because this is happening in your signs. So you have a new moon, which is seeding intentions for new beginnings in the 4th house of the home and family. And so anything you want to create, any stuck, stagnant, stale energy in your home environment, in your place of living, involving your family structure or dynamic, that now is a time to set intentions and to work on moving forward and making progress, that in terms of liberating yourself from all of that burden, from anything that's not working for you and that feels stagnant or oppressive when it comes to your home and family. And sorry, I forgot to change that. So we already started Taurus for those who are jumping to the timestamps. Go back a couple minutes. So the Uranus energy is happening on your ascendant. And so there's something you have to change about your identity, your personality, the way that you show up in the world. This might even stimulate an energy for new beginnings when it comes to your appearance, when it comes to maybe having a makeover or something like that. Really wanting to change who you are and the way you present yourself in a way that's maybe more rebellious or shocking to other people. Maybe you want to cut off all your hair. Don't recommend doing that on Wednesday, but you can plan it and think about it. Look at pictures of what you want, and then maybe move forward with that later on after this week when we don't have Venus being squared by Uranus too. But, in general, this is a really great week to think about how you're limiting yourself, how you're preventing yourself from having what you want and experiencing what you want in life. What are you holding on to because it's comfortable and it's safe and it's secure? And how is that preventing you from feeling and experiencing this liberation that Uranus really wants to bring? Where do you feel frustrated? Because this is a chance to break out of old patterns in all areas of life, especially in your home, especially on a personal level, even habits with the body. If you're not satisfied with your appearance or the way your body feels, this could shake it up and you might have to look at alternatives. This could shake up your relationships. This could shake up your career and your public reputation. And, it's going to change your life in a lot of different ways. If not now, if you were born with your Taurus sun or rising between like 3 to 9 degrees, you'll be feeling this the most because it's at 6 degrees right now. But every Taurus has either experienced this or is experiencing this in the coming years. And so for you guys in particular, I would recommend that Mastering Uranus webinar, not because obviously I want you guys to attend the webinar, but because I think it will be helpful for Taurus in particular. It's transiting your sign, and you can get a little bit more detail because it's not just this week that this is happening. It's being highlighted and triggered this week. But this is an energy that's going to be shaking up your life, and it's going to feel very ungrounding. And Taurus doesn't like that. Taurus likes material comfort, security, stability. You like your habits. You like your comfort zones. Well, you're going to have to let go of some of those. And this week is going to point out which of your comfort zones you might have to make adjustments to. And those adjustments might be pretty dramatic. Mercury is stationing to go direct in your third house of communication. This is also the house of the mind and your thought processes. And so it could be that you've been really pondering something important. You've been pondering an important question or trying to sort through an important issue in your life, or there's been an important communication that you've been kind of stuck on or worried about. Now's a time where Mercury is stationing direct in the middle of this week. You can spend some time in contemplation and you can see what you need to do moving forward. And you can finally start moving forward in the area of communication and marketing and community and networks and siblings and extended family members. If there are issues that you've been dwelling on in those areas, now's a time where you can release some of that energy and start to have some forward momentum. And then for Gemini and for Gemini rising. So this energy with the new moon is happening in your third house, which is the house of communication. It's the house of education in terms of learning practical skills. It's the house that does rule your mindset in a lot of ways. And so this could be you having to break free from subconscious conditioning, because this is Uranus in your 12th house, which is the house of the subconscious. It's the house of endings too. So you might be needing to let go of your mindset around certain topics, certain issues in your life. Maybe you are really traditional in the way that you think about things, or really passionate in the way that you think about things. And so you're set in your ways when it comes to certain information or certain topics of communication or certain areas of study. And Uranus in the 12th house is very common for studying things that are a little bit unusual behind the scenes, behind closed doors, and especially unusual forms of spirituality. And so maybe it's time now for you to start incorporating that into your learning process, thinking outside the box, breaking free from old thinking patterns and old paradigms in order to open yourself up to something new, especially when it comes to your spiritual studies, your spiritual disciplines, those types of pursuits. And so that's part of the energy too. This might bring a really shocking new revelation that completely changes your life by changing your mindset around something. And so that would be the most positive expression of this energy. Mercury is stationing direct in your second house, which is the house of finance. And so if you've been stuck on trying to reevaluate your financial situation, shift and change your plans moving forward, reevaluating your budget or the way that you make money, or if there have been any issues that have come up for you around finances, even miscommunications around bills or paychecks and things like that, this is a time where you might start to get clarity and things might progress and start to resolve themselves. And so it's a good week for financial mishaps to start to get cleared up. All right, and then for Cancer and for Cancer rising. For Cancer, this new moon is happening in your second house of resources. And so this is a really great time to set intentions involving resources. So maybe you want to shake things up and change the way that you are dealing with money or earning your money. Why did this get so fuzzy? If I move sometimes it like readjusts. But this is a good time to reevaluate the way that you deal with money and the way that you earn a living through your own hard work and your own efforts. And so maybe this is a time for you to think about breaking free or starting something new in that area. Maybe there's a new project that you want to engage in involving your resources, and it's completely different from something that you've done before, and it's going to be very disruptive to your financial stability, but you feel really passionate, you feel really amped up about it, and you feel excited because you need a change. This would be a great week to start moving in that direction and to seed intentions in that area. But in general, this is a really great time to change the way that you deal with money, to change your budget, to do something new and exciting, to think outside the box when it comes to your resources, because you're really going to have to do things in a new, innovative way. That Mercury is stationing direct at 23 degrees in the sign of Cancer. So if you were born anywhere between 20 and 26 degrees in Cancer, with your sun, moon, rising, whatever it is that you're listening for here, then you're going to be feeling this the most. And so this is going to be a powerful time because Mercury's really strong when it stations. This can bring powerful, powerful insight into whatever it is you've been feeling stuck on. And even if you haven't been feeling stuck on anything, this will bring powerful insight. So this is an important time to pay close attention to the communication that's coming in for you, because it can really help you to figure things out, to figure yourself out, and to determine which direction you need to move into moving forward, especially when it comes to your personal orientation and your relationships. All right, and for Leo and for Leo rising. All right, so for Leo, this new moon is happening in your sign, and a happy birthday, Leo. So if you are a Leo sun, moon, rising with your sun, moon, or rising anywhere between 6 and 10 degrees, you're going to be feeling this the most. And especially if you're a Leo sun sign, and your birthday is this week, you're going to be having a new moon on your birthday. So this is going to be a life-changing year for you, where you can have powerful changes in all areas of life. It's like a cosmic reset. Every time I look back in history and I've seen that I've had a new moon in the solar return chart, it's always been a life-changing year. It doesn't mean all of the developments fully unfold, but that's where a lot of big important changes are seeded, and it's like a brand new fresh start, new beginning. You'll have a lot of endings, a lot of new beginnings for the entire year ahead. That's going to be a big theme, and you can learn more about that in my solar return forecast for Leo. The link is down in the description below. And for everyone else, this is still a cosmic reset for you, especially between that 6th and 10th degree. But for all Leos, Leo risings, this is a really important time to seed new intentions and to look at where you've been subject to conditioned patterns of behaving, conditioned patterns of acting in the world or viewing the world through traditional, more established patterns. So where are you relying on the norm, on tradition, and where does that feel a little bit stuck or oppressive for you? And how can you break out of those paradigms? How can you change your personality, your persona, the way that you interact with the world? How can you break free from old conditioning? Maybe you're acting in accordance to what other people expect from you. And maybe that feels really frustrating to you and you're sick of doing that, and that's not really who you are. You've been putting on a front, you've been being this person, and it's not authentic. And Leos need to be authentic. And so in any area of your life where you're not connected to your authenticity, this is really going to shake things up and break you free from that stagnant energy. And especially as that relates to your career and your public status. And so if you are somebody who works out in the world, changing something related to your career, related to your day-to-day work routines can really help liberate you, and it can help free you on a more personal level from anything that's holding you back from being true to yourself. And so that's part of the energy as well. For those who, and then the Mercury stationary position is happening in your 12th house. So when Mercury is stationing to go direct, it's very strong. It's, close to the earth. It's standing still. It's like a very focused, concentrated mercurial energy. And it's stationing to go direct. It's getting ready to move forward. And so in the 12th house, that's the house of endings. So this can be a time where you get clarity about what you really need to let go of, about what needs to end, what has unraveled, what karma has come to completion and you don't need to hold on to anymore. This is also an important time where you can get messages from the subconscious realm. So messages through like psychic readings, messages through downloads, visions, impressions, meditation, messages through your dreams. So pay attention to the symbolism of what comes up for you. Pay attention to any flashes of insight or visions that you receive, and write down your dreams, because you might get an important message that comes through your dreams, and most people don't remember them. So you might miss something that you need to pick up on. All right. And then Virgo and Virgo rising. So for Virgos, this is happening in your 12th house, which is the house of endings. It's the house of letting go. It's the house of contemplation, rest. It's where you go to get away from the normal, daily, everyday existence. It's the way that where you go to escape from normal life. And so this week, you might feel like you want to escape. You might feel like you want to just kind of hide away, kick back, relax, go on a really exciting journey. This would actually be a really great time to seed intentions for some sort of spiritual retreat or travel plans that have that allow you to rest, to spend time in contemplation, or to go on some sort of spiritual pilgrimage, or to travel to learn about different forms of spirituality or philosophy in some sort of way, or to travel for educational purposes, especially if there's that spiritual or creative component involved in the education that you're about to be receiving, because this is not only in your 12th house, which does have an association with foreign countries, but it's more like retreating, to a foreign land. It also has that square to Uranus in your 9th house, and the 9th house is the house of foreign travel. And so it could even be that with this new moon, you have an unexpected opportunity that comes up for, traveling to a foreign country or for a higher educational pursuit. Or this could just really shake you out of your current mindset, your current belief system. You could get some new information that really conflicts with your beliefs that you've been holding on to really tightly. And so you might have to make adjustments and start studying something different, going down a new path when it comes to your philosophical belief systems or your spiritual studies or your spiritual path. And that Mercury stationing direct is happening in your 11th house. And so Mercury is much stronger. It's much more amplified. It's a very focused energy when it stations. And when it stations to go direct, it focuses in on what you need to do moving forward. And it helps you to get that clarity. And so you could have important messages that come in from your friends, through your friends, about your friends. Something really important could come up in terms of insight around a group or an organization, or maybe even an organization that you've been wanting to form, on your own. And so that could be really important too. And so this is a powerful time of really important insight involving your connection with groups of people. All right. Okay, so for Libra and for Libra rising, this new moon is happening in your 11th house of friendship. And so this is a time where you can seed really powerful intentions to connect with the right people and to become liberated through your connections with other people. And so this is a really, this is a great time to seed intentions to really put yourself out there and to connect with really unique, unusual people that you wouldn't normally surround yourself with. If you've been feeling frustrated with your social life, if you've been feeling frustrated with your friendships, if you've been feeling like it's monotonous and too routine, or maybe there's a lack of friendship and you want to get out there and explore new connections, now's a time to seed those intentions and to get the ball rolling. There could also be some issues that come up unexpectedly involving power struggles in relationship with your friends or in relationship with a group or organization that you're in a leadership position in or that you're involved in some sort of way. And this could really bring an opportunity for you to break free from, those power and control issues, those struggles, or that group of people that maybe you no longer need in your life because they're causing that disruption and that trouble for you. The other energy here is that Mercury is stationing to go direct in your 10th house, which is the house of career. So maybe there's an important project in terms of your career or what it is that you're putting out there, your public reputation, your public image that you've been dwelling on or thinking on or trying to figure out how you're going to make this happen. Well, especially midweek on Wednesday, you can really get some powerful insight and some inspiration to figure out how you're going to carry this out moving forward. You can get that clarity that you're seeking. The other thing too, and you might get an important message, about something involving your work or a work-related project that comes in, especially if you are a Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising at that 23rd degree. This could really change a lot about the way that you present yourself out in the world. And in terms of, if you own a business or something like that, this could be reflecting on your public image, reflecting on your brand image, and what you need to do moving forward to make things happen in the right way. All right, so for Scorpio and for Scorpio rising. So this new moon is happening in your 10th house of career. So this is a really great time to set intentions for a fresh start, to change the dynamics of your career path, to change dynamics in work-related partnerships, relationships, collaborations, agreements. This is a really great time to move forward with anything that liberates you from old, stuck, stagnant, stale patterns in all business-related relationships and relationships in general too. That might be part of it, but this is especially tied to your work, your career, or to connections with people in positions of power and authority or perceived authority, people that you look up to in your life. Maybe there's a dynamic that isn't working for you anymore and you need to change roles, or you need to shake things up a little bit in order to have more freedom, more independence, and more say in what's going on. And so you have to become your own authority when it comes to your work and embody that role, which is a Scorpio thing anyway, because you have Leo as the ruler of the 10th house. So anywhere where you're not being authentic in the way that you carry out your work, anywhere that you're not feeling authentic in the work that you're doing, or you're not feeling connected and passionate anymore about the work that you're doing, now is the time to break free from that and to start something new. Mercury will be stationing direct at that 23rd degree in the sign of Cancer. And this can be actually a very beneficial energy if you're a Scorpio rising with your rising or your sun sign even near that 23rd degree. So anywhere from 20 to 26 degrees, Mercury will station direct in trine with your rising sign or your sun sign. And, this is going to bring a lot of clarity when it comes to your belief systems, when it comes to issues involving travel plans, teachers, higher education, or you as a teacher yourself, publishing issues, or it could just be a change in your mindset, a change in your beliefs about God, the universe, the world around you, or an important insight around those themes that helps you to move forward with greater clarity and with a better plan. All right, so for Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, this new moon is happening in your 9th house, which is the Sagittarius house. And so especially if you're a Sagittarius rising or sun sign with your, sun or rising, around that 8th degree, so anywhere from 6 to 10 degrees, you're going to be feeling this and experiencing it in a very positive way. This is a really great time to seed intentions, to connect your actions out in the world, to connect who you are, your personality more authentically with your integrity, with your belief systems, with your philosophies on life. So this is really you aligning yourself more authentically with what you feel is true, with your moral and ethical belief systems. So you're acting more in alignment with that integrity. And then you also have this energy here where you have this, there could be a disruption to travel plans. There could be a disruption or a change or a new beginning that needs to happen involving people in foreign countries, long distance travel, your belief systems, your connection with teachers or some sort of educational pursuit, where you could have a really exciting new opportunity that comes in, but it could be something that's very unexpected. That's not what you thought it was going to be. And you might have to let go of the way that you thought you needed things to be or you wanted things to be in order to open yourself up to that opportunity, because it's going to come in like a whirlwind and it's going to be very disruptive. You have the energy of Mercury stationing to go direct in your 8th house. And so if you've been stuck on something involving an investment, if you've been stuck on something or trying to reevaluate something involving joint finances, involving debt, taxes, other people's money, now's a time where you can get clarity and things can start to move forward again. For Capricorn and Capricorn rising, this new moon is happening in your 8th house, which is the house of debt. It's the house of other people's money. It's the house of taxes. It's the house of inheritance. This could be, so usually when you have a new moon in the 8th house, it can be a little bit more intense on an emotional level because it can bring up some fears, some anxieties, especially for you guys around maybe children, if you have any, around your romantic partnerships. There could be anxieties or a disruption that comes from the things that you truly love to do, your hobbies, your interests. Maybe there's a conflict between what you feel like you want to do because it's fun for you and it brings you joy, and your responsibilities on a financial level. And so you have to break free from old patterns of behaving or old patterns of working with your money, working with your portfolio, your investments, working with your budget, so that way you can pay off debts, so that way you can free up energy to do those new and exciting things that you want to do in your 5th house, which is hobbies. It's creative pursuits. You need some more joy in your life. And so Uranus is trying to liberate you from any stagnant energy there and to show you that there's all sorts of creative, exciting new things that you can be doing. But you need to let go of your fears and your need for control. And or maybe it's just that you need to let go of some debts or some financial struggles in order to make that a possibility. Mercury stationing to go direct at 23 degrees in the sign of Cancer, which is in your 7th house. And so especially if you're a Capricorn rising near that 23rd degree, and this is going to be anyone who's born between 20 and 26 degrees, you're going to be feeling this much more powerfully. And so you could have been thinking a lot about, negotiations, contracts, renegotiating contracts, renegotiating or reestablishing a different dynamic in your relationships, especially in marriage partnership. There could be an important conversation that you've been needing to have with your partner or with a business partner or a close friend, and now you can finally get insight into how to approach this subject and to do so in a way that's very nurturing and supportive. And so that could be part of it as well. But this could also bring in an important communication involving a contract, involving an agreement, involving your partner, or that could come in through your partner that might need to be addressed or that might give you the insight that you've been looking for. And then Aquarius and Aquarius rising. This new moon is happening in your 7th house, which again is the house of partnership. It's the house of close relationships, close friendships. And so this is a really great time to set intentions for a fresh start in relationships. And especially, in terms of shaking things up and changing the dynamic in family relationships. If there's been a disruptive energy coming from the area of home and family, or a need to break free from a really stagnant, stale energy in the area of home and family, now is a time where you can seed intentions to break free from old contracts, old agreements, old family dynamics that are no longer serving you, and that could be part of this energy too. But if your love life has gotten dull, if you have a lack of relationship even, this is a time where you can start to see a little bit of change, where you can have a new beginning in this area, where you can reignite your passions and the romance and the excitement in your relationships. Mercury is stationing to go direct in your 6th house, and so this could bring up important communications involving work or important insights involving work, your daily routines, or even your health if you've been facing any health issues. So you can get clarity and start to move forward in a better way with new plans and utilizing this new information in terms of what you need to do next. All right, and then Pisces and Pisces rising. There it is. So this new moon is happening in your 6th house, which is the house of work and daily routines. And so not the most fun area, especially for Pisces, but this is a really great time. If you've been feeling off kilter, if you've been feeling like you're lacking passion in your day-to-day life, if you've been feeling stuck, stagnant, bored at work, now's a time where you can shake things up and you can change and set intentions to change things moving forward, so you have more freedom, more excitement, more ability to connect with your passions at work. And if you've been dealing with any health issues, this is an energy where you can have a reset on a physical level, or you can get new exciting insights. So you might get some information that comes in that shatters your idea of what you needed to do on that level of health. And so it could be information about a new nutritional plan or a new supplement or a new herb or something like that, something alternative, something different than what you've been utilizing before. And it can completely shake up and change the way you look at your body or the way that you take care of your body. There's also an energy of Mercury stationing to go direct in your 5th house of romance, play, fun, hobbies, interests, the things that you love to do, children. And so this is a time where you can get important insight into those areas of life. And so if you've been really stuck on an issue involving a romantic partnership, if you've been really stuck on an issue or trying to reevaluate your relationship or your dynamic with your children, if you've been trying to figure out how to reintegrate joy into your life, fun into your life, old hobbies, old interests that maybe have fallen by the wayside because you've been so busy working, now's a time where you can get insight into how to reincorporate that appropriately moving forward. And so, you can get some insight into how to have more fun. All right. And so that is my forecast for all 12 signs. Thank you guys so much again for watching this video. If you liked this video and you felt like it was helpful to you, please share it with your friends, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and then you'll never miss a weekly forecast or any of my other special videos that I do, which I'm planning on all sorts of new things with my Scorpio rising and having a new moon in my 10th house squaring Uranus. So stay tuned, guys. All right, so thank you again so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.